everybody, my name is Eric Hopkins and welcome to my YouTube channel. If you're finding me for the very first time, please click that like and subscribe button. Anything you guys can do to help me out and grow this channel, it's greatly appreciated. I'm very thankful for all of you who watched my Indianapolis Colts video yesterday when it comes to the possibility of the Atlanta Falcons maybe trading Julio Jones to the Indianapolis Colts and the signing of Antoine Woods to our defensive line. That video did so well. I ended up jumping up 30 subscribers in one day, and I know that's not a big thing maybe in the world of YouTube in the grand scheme of things, but for a young channel like mine who is trying to grow, it means a whole lot to me. Thank you very much. You guys are the foundation of my channel. Thank you for subscribing, and I hope you will continue to watch my videos going forward. But we had a little bit of news yesterday as the NFL finally released its 2021 schedule for the upcoming slate of games coming up later this year. So I thought I'd run through a few of those and the Colts schedule and let you guys know what I think about some of that stuff. So let's start here with the first opening game of the season is going to be on Thursday night. We're going to get the Super Bowl champion as custom. It's usually the ritual, so to speak. Every year, the Super Bowl champion hosts the opening night game against the Dallas Cowboys. They're going to be rolling into town and playing Tom Brady and the Bucs. So yeah, we're going to have a good game to kick it off with Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott going against possibly the greatest of all time. As much as I hate to say that, I'm not a very big Tom Brady fan. I'm a Colts fan. He's terrorized us for years in New England. So obviously, outside of the 2006 AFC Championship game when we finally got the win and went on to win Super Bowl 41. But I'm interested to see this game. Obviously, it's a good marquee matchup with two well-known teams. Love them or hate them. I think it'll be a great game for opening night. Then we have obviously the week one slate of games and everything like that. But I want to focus on the Sunday night opener. The Chicago Bears will be traveling to the Los Angeles Rams for Sunday Night Football with their newly acquired quarterback Matt Stafford after they traded Jared Goff away to the Detroit Lions. Matt Stafford will be playing his old rival in the Chicago Bears here, and we'll see what they do and see if he can go up against Khalil Mack yet again and do some good things with his new team here on Sunday Night Football. Also, will we see Justin Fields hit the field? I know the Bears have kind of come out and said Andy Dalton is their starting quarterback, but let's be honest, I don't know if that's the right call. They also have Nick Foles. I kind of wonder if Justin Fields may get his first start in week one. We'll see what happens in training camp and see if he can wrestle that job away from Andy Dalton. As of the Monday night opener for week one, usually there's two games on Monday Night Football, but this year there's only one, and I can kind of understand why. When you do two games on Monday Night Football, obviously you're going to have a second game that's obviously later, and it goes into the wee hours of the morning, and of course it runs late for a lot of people who have to work the following day, and they usually will probably tune out. So I imagine the ratings have dropped a little bit in that regard. And to be honest, we only really need one Monday Night Football game, and in this game this year is going to be Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens traveling to the West Coast team of the Las Vegas Raiders, as they are in their brand spanking new stadium, obviously. And so it should be an interesting game. It'll be a good litmus test to see where the Raiders are against a high caliber offense with Lamar Jackson. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that game plays out too to end out week one. Also, we had some England games that were announced. We have Jacksonville and Trevor Lawrence going to Miami to play Tua Tagovailoa. I think that's how you pronounce it. I could be wrong. I just call him Tua, so it's much easier for me to remember. So we got two young quarterbacks here going head-to-head on the stage in the UK. So that'll be fun for those fans over there, I think. And, of course, we have also the Atlanta Falcons traveling to play the New York Jets over in the UK as well. Both of those teams have question marks coming in this year, especially if the Falcons end up trading Julio Jones to whatever suitor it might be. I don't know if that's actually going to happen. I have a hard time believing it will, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, so it'll be an interesting game for the UK there. We also had some Thursday night games that were announced. It was, if I remember correctly, it was Dallas and the Las Vegas Raiders, and then it was the Detroit Lions against the Chicago Bears and the Buffalo Bills against the New Orleans Saints. Don't quote me on which ones are the home games. I'm just doing this off memory. But yeah, so that could be a good slate of games for Thanksgiving as well as, as is standard tradition on that day. So with all that being said, let's get into the Indianapolis Colts 2021 schedule. I'm sure that's what a lot of you are clicking on this video for as the resident Colts fan here on this channel. Let's go through this schedule here. We start out week one with the Seattle Seahawks at home with in Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis. So right off the bat, we get a good test with Russell Wilson DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Chris Carson coming into our building and try to, put a hurting on the Colts, but let's hope that we'll be able to withstand that onslaught of that pretty good offense here. Our defense will get a good test starting right out in week 1. And in week 2, again, we're at home against the Los Angeles Rams and Matt Stafford. So right off the bat, that's the first thing I noticed about this schedule. The Colts have two straight home games. When lately in the last few years, it seems like the Colts have been on the road, either at least in the first week and sometimes in the first 2 weeks. So it's nice to see the Colts are going to get a nice start at home for a change. And hopefully the one thing the Colts sometimes have had struggles with is starting out on a fast note, starting out 2-0, 1-0, 3-0. Lately it's been 1-1, 0-2. So it's not good to start off slow like that. So I'm hoping this year will be the year that the Colts will start out fast and it make it easier to win the division and not fall behind early. And with that, speaking of the division, we then go week 3. We travel to Tennessee to play the Tennessee Titans with Ryan Tannehill and Derrick Henry. Obviously, the Colts have beefed up that defensive line, so hopefully they'll be able to stop the massive running back that is Derrick Henry. After that, we have another road game. We go down to Miami to play Tua himself. So we'll see how that goes. But again, 3 straight road games. If you look at week 5, then we're on the road against Lamar Jackson and the Ravens, which is a Monday Night Football game. The Colts, interestingly enough, have 4 primetime games this year. All of which are on the road. The Colts do not get a primetime game at home this season, so that's a little disappointing. But as the coach, I believe, told his team last year, if you want that respect, go out and earn it. And hopefully the league will reward you with some primetime home games in the future. So get to the playoffs, you hopefully win some of those games, and you get to go to the Super Bowl. You earn that respect, and you get the primetime scheduling because you are considered more of a marquee team. And this is a small market team here in Indianapolis, unfortunately, so we don't always get those big primetime matchups. But we'll see what they do with that. Week 6, we have the Houston Texans coming to town. Deshaun Watson does not have many weapons anymore. They kind of got rid of all those for him. So we'll see what happens with that here. But Deshaun Watson is still a very talented player. We'll see what they do. Then we go on the road week 7 to the San Francisco 49ers, which I believe is a Sunday night game. I think the lone Sunday night game of the year, at least as of now. We'll see what they do with the New England game later this season. But DeForest Buckner travels back to the 49ers where he originally played before he got traded to the Indianapolis Colts last year for the number 1 pick this year. Yeah, I think, or no, I'm sorry. They traded the number 1 pick last year for him. It's late at night, forgive me. So it'll be interesting to see his homecoming. We'll get to see possibly Trey Lance and that new San Francisco 49ers offense on Sunday Night Football. After that, we again have the Tennessee Titans coming into Indianapolis to round off round 2 here against the Titans, and then we'll then host the New York Jets, I believe, as a Thursday night game. So hopefully that will be a winnable game, but we'll see what happens with that. The Jets have a lot of questions going into this year, so we'll see what they do. They just drafted a young quarterback as well, so we'll see how that goes. Then week 10, we start off our rivalry with the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Trevor Lawrence will be coming into town, and by then, hopefully we'll get a good look at what the offense will look like under Trevor Lawrence by that time, and hopefully we'll be able to prepare for all of that. In week 11, we have a very tough matchup, which starts off a bit of a rough stretch for the Colts, actually. The Buffalo Bills, we travel to Buffalo in late November. We could have some weather there, maybe some snow. You never know with things in Buffalo. It's always windy. But with Josh Allen and that new offense up there, and they made it pretty deep into the playoffs, or at least they made the playoffs. I can't remember how far they got. But anyhow, that's a very highly improved team over the last few years. So that should be a good one and a very good test for the Colts. And then week 12. November 28th is the game that I'm looking forward to probably the most outside of the New England game, and that is the home game against Tom Brady and the Super Bowl champion Buccaneers. Another good test, and hopefully we'll be able to, send Tom Brady packing. As obviously with that rivalry, as I said, runs deep over the years. Nothing against the Buccaneers, but I want to see Brady get smoked by those 2 defensive ends that we drafted. Hopefully Oda Yingbo will be able to play by then, along with Quiddy Pay, and some of our offensive line like DeForest Buckner will, rattle Brady, and we'll see how that goes. After that, we get another away game against the Houston Texans to round out that rivalry for the year, and then we get the Week 14 bye, which is actually a late bye for the Colts. Most of the years, the Colts have their bye week around Week 8 or 9, somewhere in there, maybe Week 7. It's usually somewhere in the middle, but this year they get the late draw, and they're going to be doing it in Week 14, which will probably be mid-December at that point, looks like. So that's a long stretch to go without a bye week, especially in this expanded season by one game. It's going to be, hopefully the Colts can stay healthy, and if not, hopefully they can get healthy by the time this bye rolls around in the lead up to the playoffs, and that way we can be healthy going into the tournament. So after that, though, we have another big game in my opinion, and that is against the New England Patriots at home on either December 18th or December 19th. It's still pending at this point, and the time is as well. I think it all depends on kind of where the teams are at the point. They kind of want to get the high profile games. They like to leave that flexibility open a little bit later in the year when it comes to a few games to kind of put the best games on primetime. After that, we get a trip down to Arizona to play Kyler Murray on Christmas Day, which will be, I believe, is a Saturday night game. So that will be interesting for the Colts. I don't recall the last time they played on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve or anything like that. So that'll be an interesting game to watch there. And then we round out the season at home against the Las Vegas Raiders in early January, and then on the road to round out the Jacksonville Jaguars. And hopefully by then, the division will be wrapped up for us, and we won't have to worry about having to fight to get into the playoffs like we have in recent years. Sometimes I would love to see the Colts kind of run away with the division, obviously, as every good fan of their team would like to see them do. But again, it's also interesting to know that the preseason is now reduced down to 3 games this season due to the fact that the league expanded the season by 1 game. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I know a lot of the players weren't too thrilled about it, but that's unfortunately the league wants to profit on another real live game that means something, where the wins and losses count. So we're going to get that 17 games for every NFL team this year, 18 weeks with 1 bye week in there. And obviously last year we had the change of the wild card round where we had 3 games on Saturday, 3 games on Sunday in the morning, afternoon, and evening. So I was I very much enjoyed that, to where we had all days worth of football all weekend long instead of just a couple games for a little bit of the day. So that was a lot of fun for me. Obviously with the week here, looks like the Super Bowl is going to be pushed back probably another week too, to probably closer to mid-February than it will be early February. So we'll see how that plays out as well as we lead into Super Bowl 56. But what do you guys think about the Indianapolis Colts schedule coming up here in 2021? Do you think it's a good schedule? Do you think they kind of got hosed on the primetime stuff at home? Are you looking forward to some of these matchups? Let me know. Comment down below. Hit the like and subscribe button. And don't forget to hit the notification bell so you get all the notifications about when I put up new content on my channel. And until my next video, guys, take care.
We about to turn it on.